Chapter 5 Solomon's Song. Hebron. In the 4th chapter, Solomon says, "Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast doves' eyes within thy locks. Thy hair is as a flock of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep that are even shorn, which come up from the washing, whereof every one bare twins, and none is barren among them. Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet, and thy speech is comely. Thy temples are like a piece of pomegranate within thy locks. Thy neck is like the tower of David built for an armoury, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all shields of mighty men. Thy 2 breasts are like 2 young roes that are twins, which feed among the lilies. Until the daybreak and the shadows flee away, I will get me to the mountain of myrrh, and to the hill of frankincense. Thou art all fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse, with me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana, from the top of Shenir and Hermon, from the lions' dens, from the mountains of the leopards. Thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eyes, with one chain of thy neck. How fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse! How much better is thy love than wine, and the smell of thine ointments than all spices. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates, with pleasant fruits, camphire with spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes with all the chief spices, a fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon. Awake, O north wind, and come, thou south. Blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden, and eat his pleasant fruits." You see, great Cyrenius, that is how the 4th chapter goes, approximately word for word, in the Song of Solomon, who was a wise man. And I will give you all the treasures of the world if you, with your healthy human mind, are able to decipher even one sentence. Who is the sister mentioned again and again? The dear bride who, if she looks how Solomon describes with praise, would be a picture of horror for all people, in comparison with whom a Medusa would seem to be Venus. In brief, This is the greatest nonsense for the mind of man. What sort of corresponding sense lies in it, no mind can understand. Only wisdom. Whoever has wisdom will understand it, but whoever does not have it does not read such things, and if he has read it, he should not think long over it. For the more he thinks it over, the less he will understand. I have learned by heart the whole Song of Solomon to understand it better, but in vain. Gradually, I have seen more clearly that I am an ox on the mountain. Therefore, appeal rather to the clear understanding of our companions, instead of their certainly large wisdom. For if they explain to you the fast writing of our angel from their wisdom, you will understand as much as you understand from the 4th chapter of the Song of Solomon. If someone explains it through their healthy mind, assuming that it is possible, well, you will understand as much as something purely spiritual can be understood. In my opinion, one will not make any great progress. Cyrenius says, I see that you are no stupid person, for many have said that we should take the thickest nonsense of Solomon, materially understood, word for word. For that is the greatest nonsense that ever came to my ears. But despite this sheer nonsense begins to worry me more than the quick writing of the angel. What did this famous Croesus want to say to the Jews? Was that seriously a declaration of love to some Jewish maid, who truly must have looked especially beautiful, according to his description? Or is something else to be understood? But what? What is another question? Is there a key to it? If there is one, our Lord and Master will surely know best. Thus, better to the smith than to the apprentice. Hebram says, I am of the same opinion, and so do it. I would be more curious about this than about my future life after the grave. At this, Cyrenius turns to me and says, Lord, did you hear the certain 4th chapter of the Song of Solomon? Tell me, is there some good sense, or is it what it seems, namely sheer nonsense? I say, my friend, there is good sense there, if very profound. Solomon wrote it down as the Spirit dictated to him. But he basically did not understand it any better than you now. For the word of wisdom was truly given, but not the full understanding. Much seemed Scythic, for what he wrote was told in corresponding images for the time. The solution and the key is he who now speaks to you. But the word, a word of eternal love since eternity, which is the purest love of God to you people, is the most beautiful bride, the true sister of man, and his dear girlfriend. Read the song with this key, and you will understand it and find the truest meaning. Do you now understand something of Solomon's wisdom? Cyrenius says, looking at Hebram, Do you sense, young Solomonist, from where the wind blows? These are quite different sounds to those sung in the Temple of Jerusalem. Briefly, now I have the key. Solomon will be studied at home from word to word. Hebram says, the key seems true and completely correct. But not everything can be opened with it. We see the stars too, and the Master has occasionally given us keys in his speeches. The angel made a very meaningful mention of it as well. But what else do we know about it? Explain to me now what the bright morning star is, which today shone so brightly in the morning. And you see, as little as you can explain to me the morning star from the key given by the angel, just as little will you be able to see behind the whole wisdom of Solomon with the key of the mysterious Master. There are many images, the key to which only the true Spirit carries. But I don't doubt in the least, at this moment, that the key which the Master gave you in general is the right one. And I will try to decipher something myself with it. At this, Cyrenius asks me, Lord, what should I think about Hebram's speech? I say, he speaks well and truly, and since it is so, then you already know what to think. But now leave it, for look, breakfast is ready. Our limbs need strength, and we want to be strong and then go out to the criminals, for they will soon be ready for healing. At this, a lot of fish and bread and wine were brought to the table.